This week Sony released the FX5 and that made me think a lot about gear, that made me think a lot about the cameras that we actually need and why they're needed for. Because if we think about the FX5, let's talk about that first. If you think about that camera is not really for creators, influencers, not really an entry level camera. That camera is for professional filmmakers. It's for someone that's actually making a lot of money with their cinematography. It's not for someone like me, let's say. I get it, there are a lot of influencers that they do have a very high level of content and they would use that camera. But if you talk about most of us, or if you talk about a lot of other people that are like making films and are recording for YouTube, whatever, we don't really need that camera. And I'm not shitting on the camera. Like when you look at the camera, it is the perfect camera. The size is perfect, the quality is amazing. It's just like, it feels like we hit. That is the camera that you can carry everywhere and it's just perfect. What I'm trying to say is that I don't really need something like that, and I don't think most people need that. But when you go to YouTube, when you go to watch other people talking about cameras or gear, there will always be someone that will talk about that like everyone really needs that. And like, I can't imagine, if I think about my group of friends right now, I can think of one person that would actually use that camera and make money out of it, or you'd really need to use a camera like that. Let's say if you're making videos for YouTube, if you have Sony FX3, this is already way more than enough to do literally 99.89% of all the things you need, you know, so you don't really need all of that. My point is, I feel like there is a lot of people always talking about gear and we are always thinking about gear. We live in a society where we're being sold everything. Even on YouTube nowadays, it feels like every video that you click, there's always someone trying to sell you something. There's always someone trying to push something into you, and it is really annoying. Like, even let's say if I'm trying to learn how to color grade, I got a new camera. I got this DJI a week ago and I was just trying to learn how to make the best color out of that camera, and most videos that I clicked, there was someone trying to sell me their LUT or their Note 3, but no one really trying to help. So it feels like we live in the society that everything is sell, 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 sell. It's almost like someone gonna get out of a screen and try to steal from you. And cameras company are doing the same thing. They do produce beautiful equipment and we all want them. I want them. I'm sure you want them too, but it's important to think sometimes, what do you really need? If you're really gonna use that for something, if you're working with cameras, the first thing that you have to think is, will that bring me money back? Will that make me more money? That's what I think, because I work with videography, I work with photography, and I always think, if I get that, would that bring me more money? If the answer is no, I'm not getting that gear at the moment. Firstly, because I can't spend too much money, and secondly, because it doesn't make sense to get something that won't bring you any money. And the FX5 is a camera that I don't think will bring me any money, and it won't change my YouTube, it won't change my documentation of my life. At the moment, I'm using a Sony A7C version 1. This camera I think is like 6 years old. It's not a new camera. It doesn't even have 10-bit color, it's 8-bit color. And I heard a lot of people before talking like, how do you record with something that's not 10-bit? How is your colors not breaking? And not really. For all the professional work that I've been doing, I mainly work with social media, with smaller places or public spaces, public organizations. All the work that I do for them, they want very natural colors. I don't have to push too much, and I always try to shoot this on the best way I can. I always try to expose right, I always try to do everything correctly. So I don't really need another camera at the moment. Would I like to have an FX3? Yes. I'm not gonna lie here. Of course I would. I would like to have some 10-bit color. I could work a little bit more with the image is beautiful. One thing that a lot of the times I suffer in this camera, to be honest, is the ISO. So having something that I could use 12,800 ISO would be really good for my work. It'd make my life completely easy. but can I afford at the moment? No, I can't. Is that camera paying the bills for me? It is. So I don't need anything else. And this happens with me all the time. For photography, I shoot with my Leica M4. And I have two lenses. They're both not the best. I mean, they're good lenses, but it's not something that people are gonna go online brag about them. I work with a lens from TT Artisan. It's a 28mm, it's f5.6. It's a very cheap lens. It's very well made, but the image is not the sharpest. It has a very vintage look to it. I like it. Some people won't like it. So that lens worked for me. Sometimes I want a little bit of sharpness, but it's not something that really helps me tell a better story on my personal work, because I just use them for personal work. And I have a 35mm Voigtlander color scoper. It's a vintage lens, it's a LTM, so it is a little bit of an older lens, but the optics on that lens, it is incredible. It's similar to the new one, to be honest. But there was a new lens that was released. It was a 35mm f2. It was a copy of the Leica, the King of Bokeh, and it was really cheap. When I saw that lens, I was like, I'm gonna buy it. There's no chance I'm gonna buy it. And I start finding excuses for it. I was like, I can use that lens for YouTube. I can use that lens for my personal work. This is f2, I have more light, I can do weddings with it. This lens will work, it is perfect. But did I actually need that lens? Having the Voigtlander, which is 2.5, is bright enough. It could be brighter, yes, it could be brighter, but I didn't really need it. It was just something that I was, again, consumed by that thing, that you need to buy more things, that you need to get that lens. And literally for a month I was back and forth. I would go to their website. They're called Mandler. I would go to their website and I was like almost buying it, and I'm like, no, I'll see that tomorrow, and then I'd forget for a week, and then next week again and again and again. And I feel this is just so stressing, at least to me. Like, it's something that, like, why do I want to spend that money if I don't have to? There is no sense. And also what I did was I did some research. I got their charts and I was checking how the lens render, and I waited to see a lot of reviews from the lens, and I actually discovered that the Voigtlander that I have, that is a vintage lens, renders better for professional work. It is sharper, edge to edge is better. You get a better image quality when it comes to professional work. I'm not talking about the bokeh or how this swirls in the corner. What I'm talking about here is for professional work. A lot of the times when I'm doing a wedding, they will want a sharper photo. Not everyone is a photographer, not everyone has this eye for something. So I was gonna buy something that I had no use for it, just because it was the new hype thing. Every influencer was talking about it. There was like 10 videos about it, and because it's so cheap, I think everyone was buying just to make videos for YouTube, because clicks is what make us leave. So that's why people are doing those things. My point here is just to help you think about what do you really need on your creative process. What does really gonna make you tell more stories? I think a lot of the time our focus should be on making a better photograph, making a better video, documenting better, rather than just having the better gear. I'm sure if today I get a Leica Summicron 35mm, my photograph's not gonna be better, because the lens not gonna go out and take photographs for me, not gonna work for me. My photograph's just gonna go better by me going outside most days, always having my camera with me, pushing, studying, looking at books and trying different things. That's how my photograph gonna be better. Having conversation like this will make my photograph better. So don't get in the trap of wanting the newest, the best things. A lot of the times, if you have something in your house already, if you have a phone and you want to start making content, you want to start taking photographs, use your phone. Start first, and then when you hit a barrier, when you hit a wall and you're like, okay, now I actually should do this other thing, I need this to help me solve that problem, then that makes a lot of sense. Not before that. If you don't have that wall, don't buy anything else. And I also think a lot of people, they use the gear talk as a way of excusing their productivity. a lot of the time they'll say like, oh, I'm not doing this yet because I don't have an FX3. I'm not busy enough because I don't have this Sony A7C or a better camera or whatever. And it's not really your camera that's gonna make you busier. It's not really like your camera that's gonna make you be a better storyteller. They're gonna make you talk better in front of a camera. It's all about doing more and repetition and repetition and trying and trying and trying. I always talk about this in my channel because I see a lot of my friends and even me, like, we're people, we all do that. We try to find excuses why we are not getting to a certain point. And I know it is easier to blame something else. It is easier for me to blame the image quality in this camera rather than blame my storytelling or my editing skills of the day. But when you try to think about that and you focus more on improving what you do, you're gonna be a way better photographer. You're gonna be a way better videographer. I think the restrictions will make you better. Just change something when there is a problem. If there is no problem and it's not gonna bring you any other money, it's not gonna change much what you're doing already, doesn't really matter. I hope I can help you with those type of videos. This series is called Talk It Through. This is my weekly series where I just sit here and I talk some shit with you. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take photos every day. Thanks for watching.